Αγαπητοί φίλοι και φίλες, καλησπέρα. Καλώς ορίσατε στο φακό του Hellenic TV. Σήμερα φιλοξενώ με τον artist Michael Μηνάς. Είναι μεγάλη μας χαρά, θα μας μιλήσει για την καριέρα του, αλλά και για τη συμμετοχή του στην έκθεση There is an Island, η οποία βρίσκεται στην Κυπριακή Ύπατη Αρμοστεία, στο Λονδίνο. Good evening, Michael. It's really nice to have you today.
How nice to see you too.
And
Thank you for
very
calling.
well with the technology, so don't worry about it. Everything
I
is
know.
good.
Great.
Now, I want to start from your college, Michael. Can you tell us about your experience studying art at the Hornsey College of Art and how has influenced your artistic style?
Well, I really owe an awful lot to Hornsey. When I first came to England in October 1961, a long time ago, it was the 28th, which was a remarkable day for us, because being in the forefront of the art department of my Ελληνικό Γυμνάσιο Μόρφου, I was always expected to do some preparation for the great day and to actually be on that bus going to the airport that dawn and not being able to participate in the celebrations felt rather sad. However, I got to London, and to my surprise, I found that I couldn't actually get into a college, any college, because I left it rather late to apply. And all the art schools were full. And after various efforts with the assistance of one of my uncles here, we ended up at Hornsey College of Art on a Friday night when no one there really was interested to take me in. And persistence, just persevere. I managed to persuade them to give me a week. And it was great. I met that week a remarkable man called John Titchell, who was a well-traveled artist and wanted to, he was in the middle of a workshop with the other students, but he wanted me to produce something on my own rather than a subject based on what the other students were asked to do. So he had a look at my sketchbook, and there was a wonderful picture of a drawing, rather, not a wonderful drawing, but a drawing of the Pyrenean Harbor, which I drew only a few days before I left. And he said, "Why don't you paint that?" And two things immediately, went through my worrying mind. A, this would be inappropriate in relation to what the other students were actually working on. And secondly, the subject matter really wouldn't be of any interest to anyone else other than myself. And I didn't have any desire of painting this beautiful landscape in a sort of foggy, dark, miserable first week of my entering London. However, I persevere, and at the end of the week, there was a good reaction. The red tiles and the blue skies and the boats and everything were a very sharp contrast to all the other students when they were put against the wall. So I had some really good reports, remarks. And at the end of that week, I was officially asked to stay on. When they said originally there was no space. And the rest just was history. I've enjoyed every moment of it. In those days, we did a 2-year, what was called intermediate course. And during those 2 years, you choose a subject. You did every subject. And then out of that, you had to choose your sort of final subject, which in mine was painting. So I ended up at Alexandra Palace Annex to do my final 2 years. But while I'm talking to you, there is a kind of white label in front of me. I can't see your face entirely. Is that correct, or should I just get rid of it?
A label? You can't see me.
Well, there is a kind of caption in front of your face.
Maybe you have something on your screen.
Shall I just say I got it and then it'll go?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it gone? Well done. Right.
Now I can see it fully. I'm sorry about that.
No, that's fine. Michael, thank you so much for sharing this story with us, because it's a really inspirational story. I mean, they didn't want to take you in initially, but you've been so successful all these years, so well done. And if I'm not mistaken, then you got a job at ABC and Thames Television as a production designer. Was it soon after you finished your studies?
Well, there was a crucial moment when I finally graduated after 4 years, and I was really it was unfortunately a bad situation for me financially, because in those days the students got grants, all of them, and I didn't. So I had to really find my own fees. Excuse me. And so I was working practically every other evening and the weekends, and I think that probably in the end worked out well for me, because when this request came from ABC Television for a student to apply to be trained as a scenic painter, the principal thought, well, if I'm really backing any horses, I think maybe Michael probably, with his experience of working and studying, might just be the sort of person who will be able to cope with any sort of situations of not just producing art, but just generally life. Because I was quite experienced by then in dealing with people, having worked for my father for a year after I finished gymnasio in the bakery, which is what he had. And then with all the evening work in London, I was quite, I was what they say, a bit of a street person, I could cope. So when I applied for this job, to my amazement, I got it. Though there are about 5 or 6 other students naturally recommended and sent by their own colleges. So they gave me a chance as a kind of trainee for 6 months. And of course, I stayed on until ABC became Thames, when the franchises changed. And with a little bit of arrogance, because I always said to my bosses, as long as I paint, I'm happy. But if I'm not able to paint, you might as well tell me now. And they said, Michael, you can do whatever you like, as long as you know that everything you do in these premises and at home belongs to us, because you signed the contract.
Okay.
But I think they said it in the nicest possible way. I mean, I was lucky that I was actually given airtime on their own broadcasting to publicize my exhibitions that I had by asking people in the arts world to mention me. Well, normally that kind of thing does cost enormous amount of money to advertise, but I was just getting it out of being one of their employees, and presumably they were just happy that I was doing it, and they were gaining a reputation of being a really nice company, which Thames was absolutely wonderful. So far there was no trouble in my life. Hornsey was excellent for 4 years, and then I'm really in a television company that all we do is just produce fun. I mean, it was was great. So no problem so far.
And then you
I couldn't believe
decided,
it.
yes, no, that's amazing,
Yes.
I'm sure they saw your talent, that's why, they took you in, they kept you and they kept you happy. But at some point you decided to work as a freelancer. Was
Yes.
it because you were unhappy about something, or you wanted to make the change?
Well, I did want to make the change. I did want to move into more serious programs rather than light entertainment. And not that I didn't like, some of your listeners would know that I probably saw Magpie and Rainbow that I designed. They're probably adults now, but they know it, I'm sure, because I do come across a lot of people. And I mean, light entertainment programs like the Kenny Everett Show were fine to do, but sometimes you don't know what's around the corner. I mean, if I hadn't done the Kenny Everett Show, I would have never met David Bowie and design Ashes to Ashes, which is one of the top videos that he's done. And I was dead lucky. I was in the right place, the right moment, because the Kenny Everett Show was running very fast. There were two designers on it, myself and another guy called Bill Laslett. And every week the pop stars were just coming in like, nobody's business, so fast. And I was just lucky to have got Bowie one week, whereas he got Elvis Costello, and so I did Boys Keep Swinging and Ashes to Ashes. But to meet that man and to be in a discussion for several hours about the design and the look, and to do sketches and to send them off, and then to hear him reading the lines, it was just amazing. So that was one of the moments that I thought, hang on, I make a move now. This is my moment to just seek some freelance work, because all these people were asking me to go and work for them. Simon Sharma, who wrote a wonderful book, Landscape and Memory, he asked me if I could do his show on TV, because they were interested in the visual arts entering the sort of commercial side of what they were doing. I think they just wanted that blend to be as exciting as going to a gallery and seeing paintings. And then I ended up in Mexico City working with David Hockney, doing Operalia with Placido Domingo, finding the best 10 young opera singers in the world, and to be three months with Hockney in LA and Mexico. Hornsey College of Art, where if anybody told me that one day I'll be doing that, I would look at it with a pinch of salt. But it did happen. And please, every young person in this world who are thinking of doing art, do not hesitate. If that's what you want to do and it's in your heart, do it, because you will find things that will suit you. They might be very small, but you'll take them on and you make exciting things of your lives, because that's really what it's about, is to have excitement in life and happiness and pleasure. And
thank you for sharing your advice. This is so important, Michael, for the young artists who are looking to
absolutely
make a career, with something they truly love, and they have to also remember to persevere, because you told us about your story, trying to enter in an art school, which wasn't easy, but you've made it and you succeeded.
Well, it happened slowly. Yeah, I mean, next week, a friend of mine has asked me if I could go and do tours with a group of young children called Rainbows to do a life, to do a still life. So we're doing a watermelon. We're going to paint the watermelon together. There's about 28 young girls. They're about maybe 9 years old. We did it last year, and it was nothing but. And then they put their paintings up on the walls, and their parents come along afterwards. And then I've got a 14-year-old talented young boy who comes to my studio faithfully every week, and he's producing some amazing stuff. And that's really, we've inherited so much stuff, especially from the part of the world that we come from. And I've always feel rather responsible that we should really pass it on. You know,
and you're doing a great job.
Yeah, we
Michael,
have to
you've
continue.
exhibited your work in many solo and group exhibitions. What was it like to have your art work showcased at the Royal Academy Summer Exhibition? I mean, this is amazing. And if I'm not mistaken, not only for just one summer, but I think few summers.
There is one now at the moment.
There you are.
Yes.
Well done.
That's an amazing establishment that has been created by some great masters in this country in the Victorian days. And fortunately, it has been encouraged to continue because it is one place that arts from all backgrounds can blend together, can be mixed together. There's absolutely no discrimination whatsoever. The judges don't know who sends work in when they're judging. So when people whose work is accepted are not chosen because of their name or their reputation, they're chosen because their art says something, and that goes a long way, you know, to say that inner feelings by some remarkable people, whether they're amateurs or professionals, come through and they mean something to other people. Otherwise, they wouldn't be on those walls. And it's very difficult to get in, like any popular exhibition.
Absolutely.
The Royal Academy receives something like 60,000 sometimes. They choose 1,000 to go up on the walls, 1,200. So people will say, oh, it is a bit of a lottery. It is and it isn't. I think, you know, there's some really, really honorable people there choosing the work. And I feel sorry for them because I've been a judge at colleges when when students apply, like the National Film School, and it's a nightmare because you got 10 people and they're all absolutely so close, their work so close to each other, and in the end you feel, how on earth do I choose 6 out of these 10 people? And so I understand how difficult it is.
Would you let them know afterwards? I mean, is someone responsible to tell them that you were really close, but we had to choose, so at least they know that they are on the right path?
Well, yes, there is a bit of soothing tablet here.
Good,
because,
excellent.
There is all the work has to be sent in digitally. So the initial application is done on online.
Yes.
And I send because I'm not a member. Unless you're a member, you're entire member of the R.A. That is not a friendly, not a friend's membership.
Member. Yes,
a member. Yes, unless you're a member, then you're only allowed to send 2 entries. And when you get that letter saying one of them has been accepted, it's thrilling. I mean, I can understand. I mean, I got my work there before, so but for new people who apply for the first time, must be so exciting.
Absolutely.
And all these years, Vasula, that I've been sending, and I haven't constantly been doing every year, but I have been doing quite a lot of years. I've only got in 5 times, just to show how difficult it is.
Yeah, but it's great that you've been selected, and not once, but 5 times. Well done. We are very proud of you, Michael. Now, could you share with us the inspiration behind your work, Environmental Degradation, that was selected for the exhibition There Is an Island at the Cyprus High Commission in UK?
Yes, this painting means a lot to me. I in the last few years, I became very concerned about the environment. Like a lot of cities of the world, we're all trying our ways, using our own, whatever power we have, to try and persuade our MPs, our friends in high places to try and really do something about the world environment for our children and grandchildren and the future life. And this particular painting was initially drawn as a small sketch from a very beautiful poster that I saw on a miserable day in London. But it was so attractive. I think the colors pulled me to it, and I did a quick sketch, and I took some pictures for reference. And then a couple of weeks later, I saw this when I was taking my daughter to art school that day. And a couple of days later, I went again, did the same thing. And this poster deteriorated so much that it was a bit of a shock, because the weather was good. It was only traffic. It was in a main road in a very busy area. And I approached it and touched it, and a lot of carbon came on my hands. That initial color completely disappeared. And I think people are standing at the bus stop must have wondered, why on earth did I have to go and do that? So I came back and worked on it and tried to really develop a picture where it'll remind me of what happened, but also hopefully if I was able to show it and exhibit and talk like I'm talking now, it'll be my little contribution towards my protest and my demand for something to really be done, even in a small way, towards our environment. So that painting is actually based, that's why it's called an environmental reputation. It's based on that. And it just goes to show that just a small observation like that, a small incident, is not always painting beautiful tulips and lovely sunsets and remarkable moon rises and sunsets. Is sometimes a horrible thing like that, a development for the worse, can actually spark off an idea. And like a writer who would have written that in a newspaper, I decided to put it on canvas.
Exactly. Yes. It's a message. You want to give a message out to the world, you know. I mean, which is amazing. And how does this artwork reflect your views? What kind of responses did you get so far from the people who saw this artwork?
Well, I haven't been back since a private view, because sadly, Jacqueline, my wife, and I had COVID. We just only 2 days ago. Yeah, only 2 days ago we recovered, so we haven't been out, haven't been around. I had nothing but good comments, rather sort of concerned remarks from people, colleagues and guests, but very encouraging. And not only that, but because I also put it on, as you know, I put it on Instagram. And I tend to do a lot of, this is something I've learned from television, that if you don't go out and sell your work, nobody's going to come and buy it. So this little business in me is something that I've actually got by working in television on the commercial side, looking after budgets and promoting work and seeing how my colleagues work. And because this painting has been publicized, I daily get things saying, you know, we like it and we appreciate what you're doing, and we're concerned.
That's great. So do you believe that art has the power to create awareness or provoke change regarding environmental issues?
Absolutely.
You do. Yes.
Art has enormous power. I mean, not just as the subject we're talking about now, but you can move into other pages like romance or respect or appreciation of beauty. You know, all artists, depending on various epochs that they work in, they made a point. They specialize in what they believe, what comes from the heart and the mind and the hand, because in the end, really, it is the three items: is the eyes, is the heart, and the hand that put these things down. And if it works, it's magic. I mean, as you're speaking to me now, I can think of the various artists in my sort of the influence I had over the years, how much they meant to me, from, you know, classical art to surrealism, to expressionism, to popular art. And you can pick out things that really meant to make a comment at the time when the artist lived, like all those poor people who died in concentration camps, you know, who painted endlessly for their survival. Exactly. You know, we look at them now and we express an opinion. It might be very far removed from what was going on at the time, but can one imagine what must have been going through their heads when they're drawing? And in fact, a lot of David Bomberg, actually one of the British great artists, was in Karalos camp in Cyprus. You know, when those poor people escaped Hitler, and some of them we gave them home in Cyprus, in Karalos camp. And if people research David Bomberg, who is a great artist, British artist, they'll see some of these drawings were done there. And look at what we've learned from that too. Yeah.
Thank you, Michael. Now, before I let you go, one last tip for the young artists.
All the young artists in the world, one last piece. Well,
a tip, like how, okay, to persevere, you know, you said earlier on,
yes,
like to follow the heart, you know, what else would you say to them?
Yes, well, I can only use my case to relate this, because I'm not aware of what people's domestic situations are. But in my case, because both of my parents were encouraging and at the same time concerned about my future, but they balanced it well, I think, for them to give me that little bit of trust that if I'm allowed to continue my art, whether it's music or painting or anything to do with the arts, and at the same time being aware that I have to manage myself and my affairs in the end without having to rely on other people. That was a really good balance. So please allow your children see what they're doing, encourage them to play the piano, encourage them to play violin, give them brushes, give them paper, but also at the same time keep the prosimi going, because that's what they need. And when they achieve something, say to them, that's great. Let's see what you can do next. Never say, put it away, because now we have to go and do some other kind of science, just in case. The two go together. So find a way of balancing the subjects and creating a situation where a child can really feel happy, because that's the only way that they're going to produce their best. And I know from my own daughter, can I take the liberty of just saying what happened to her?
Yes, yeah, we've gone about 4 minutes actually.
Well, yes, well, she was young, she's talented, she was at school, and like all the children was encouraged to do something else just in case, but she said, no, I want to do art. And our daughter, Mira Foramina, has designed all the graphics and props for all the Harry Potter films.
Oh, wow.
And when the films ended, she got on a plane and went to Warner Brothers and asked a question. because she knew, having worked in the film industry, that when you do a prop or a caption or anything, the camera only sees that. It doesn't see the other 20 that you prepared. So she said, we have endless artwork, which the world hasn't seen.
Excellent.
How much will it cost us to produce that? And they said, Mira, you can have it as long as we have X amount of money. So she took it. And now she's got a design business in Water Street with 60 people working, producing books and Harry Potter limited edition prints, you name it. And this is because we did what I was just saying.
Yes.
Encouragement, support, and passion.
Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you. And thank you for sharing the story of your daughter. It's really, really, really amazing. We are really proud of you. And well done. And share your knowledge. Just go out there and share your knowledge.
I should also give credit when it comes to my daughter that my dear wife also is an artist. So we are lucky because we are all in this kind of environment, which helps. And it's I know it's very demanding to say to people whose parents are not both artists that they should do it. But ring me and I come and help.
Excellent.
If family wants my advice, please ask me. I'll do it.
Thank you, Michael.
It was lovely meeting you.
Thank you.
And
likewise.
I love your work, by the way. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your opinion. Thank you, Michael.
It's been a real pleasure. Okay.
Thank you.
Take care.
You too.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Αγαπητοί φίλοι και φίλες, εμείς θα τα πούμε και πάλι πολύ σύντομα με ένα καινούριο θέμα και ένα καινούριο φιλοξενούμενο. Καλό σας βράδυ.